Every civilization in the Orion Arm knew the rule. It was written not on paper or treaty stone, but in fear. Do not cross the humans. It wasn't superstition. It was survival, because the last empire that ignored it no longer existed. But as centuries passed, new powers rose, young, ambitious, arrogant. They read the ancient warnings and laughed. After all, how dangerous could one small, long-forgotten species really be? They would remember, too late, the offense. It began with a raid. The Threxian Dominion, expanding its border, sees a human research outpost on the edge of known space. The base was unarmed, a civilian facility studying nebula lifeforms. They called it resource reclamation. The galaxy called it stupidity. When the human envoy demanded the release of the captives, the Threxian High Regent sneered on live broadcasts. Your species hides behind old legends. We make new ones. The feed ended. The galaxy held its breath. And Earth went silent, the quiet before the storm. For 36 standard hours, nothing. No transmissions. No fleet movements. No diplomatic responses. Even the human allies, the Vaughn, the Shelek, the Corin, received no answer. The Threxians mocked them, saying humans had grown weak, that their age of war was long over. They didn't realize that silence wasn't fear. It was fury, compressed, waiting to be unleashed. The first retaliation. When the Terran fleet finally moved, it did so without warning or declaration. Sensors in 6 systems registered simultaneous energy spikes. Then, without fanfare, every Threxian orbital shipyard vanished in bursts of blue-white plasma. No demands. No statements. Just annihilation. Intercepted transmission from human command contained one line. You were warned. The Threxian Council called it terrorism. The galaxy called it justice. The weight of memory. Most species forget. Humans don't. They remember the Eridani purges, the Council betrayal, the war of attrition, every scar etched into their collective soul. They remember names, coordinates, faces, and when they move, it isn't for conquest. It's for memory. That's why no one crosses them. Because when humanity remembers, the universe bleeds. The war they didn't want. The Threxians mobilized their grand fleet, 4,000 ships strong, equipped with plasma cannons and gravity torpedoes. They outnumbered the Terrans 5-1. But war with humans is never about numbers. When the first engagement began at the Astion Divide, the Threxians faced something no one had ever seen. Ships that didn't appear on sensors until they fired, weapons that folded space like paper. For every Terran vessel destroyed, 10 Threxian ones vanished. When a captured admiral was interrogated, she whispered only, "They fight like they already know how we die." The burning of Veli's Prime. Veli's Prime was a Threxian capital world, fortified, shielded, untouchable. The humans didn't attack it directly. They simply shut down its star. A pulse from a Terran dreadnought caused the system sun to flicker, dim, and then reignite in violent eruption. The Threxian fleet disintegrated before it could react. Billions perished. And still, Earth said nothing. The broadcast. Then, the humans sent a single message, broadcast through every known frequency. The speaker was Admiral Eshevance, commander of the Terran Vanguard. "We warned you once. Our law is older than your empires. We do not conquer. We do not enslave. But if you harm what is ours, we will unmake your sky." Her word became law again, carved into the archives of 1,000 worlds. The Galactic Reckoning. The Dominion fell within months. The survivors fled to the Outer Rim, hunted not by vengeance, but by inevitability. The Council of Worlds convened, desperate to stop the escalation. They begged Earth to relent, to negotiate, to forgive. The Terran ambassador arrived, not in a warship, but in an old civilian shuttle, scarred and worn. He spoke only once. Forgiveness was offered the first time you were warned. You refused. Now you remember. And then he left. The aftermath. When the dust settled, the Threxian dominion no longer existed. Their homeworlds were silent, their stars dark. But humanity didn't celebrate. They mourned, because to them, vengeance is not victory, it's grief made manifest. They rebuilt the ruins they could, tended the survivors who had nothing left, and then quietly withdrew to Sol. They had made their point. The new law. From that day onward, the Galactic Council rewrote its charter. At the top, under Article 1, Section 1, it reads, "Under no circumstance shall any act of aggression be committed against the Terran species or their affiliates." No one questioned it. No one dared. Even the newest civilizations, though born centuries later, are taught the same warning. The humans remember. Always. The legend. Now, millennia later, their story is still told. The humans rarely appear in council affairs anymore. Their fleets patrol the void silently, their colonies self-sufficient, their worlds unseen but always near. Some call them guardians, others call them ghosts. But every once in a while, when a new empire grows bold and threatens a fragile peace, an unmarked human ship appears, silent, waiting. No words, no broadcasts, just presence. And every time, the empire backs down. Because even in the farthest corners of the galaxy, one truth endures. Do not cross the humans. They remember. Epilogue. The stars remember too. In the archives of the Galactic Council lies a monument, a slab of obsidian etched with the names of the lost. At its base, 3 words are inscribed in Terran script, glowing faintly with blue light. We warned you. No one knows who carved it, but every diplomat, soldier, and ruler who passes it feels the same chill, because the stars themselves remember, and they whisper the law that keeps the galaxy alive. Do not cross the humans.